God dang. I wonder why I'm not allowed to stream the other way. That's bizarre. God, this is sensitive. Ugh. Let's see here. Hey, Dustin. It's going all right. The last time I did this, do you remember if I was like widescreen or if I was up and down like this? Because I thought I was widescreen. All right. It's been a while. I was trying to pair my earbuds and forgive the potential loudness of my voice because I'm inking those lines, so I've got to be right next to the phone. I tried pairing my earbuds to my tablet so I could listen to music while I streamed because I can't listen to music using my phone while I stream at the same time because I'm using my phone to stream and XYZ, and it's just annoying and it's a problem. But for some reason, God dang it, the tablet doesn't want to work with earbuds. But I did finally go out. Oh, it was vertical. That's weird. I wonder if you have to have like so many like followers or whatever in order to be able to do it the other way. Good Lord. All right, well, at least that much is done. Yeah, I wonder if it's different in that respect. If you do it from a PC, if you're doing it streaming, maybe there's a difference to it, right? Oh yeah, let's slide all this shit off there. That's not a good idea. I have that in my mouth. Yeah, it is pointed vertically. It won't let me do it the other way. It's bizarre. Like if I try to watch. It says the orientation is locked. I don't know. No, that's not it. No. So that's fun. And of course, I didn't get all of this set up beforehand, because I did get it set up beforehand. God dang, like I need a better gooseneck than this. Because it just keeps like... And then it's in the way and everything. Jesus. It's obnoxious. Because then like my head is right in line with this too. So this is fun. So you're probably going to get some shaking there as well. I was going to ink or work on inking page 6 of chapter 2, but when I looked at it, and I'm really glad that I decided to skip to this page, now knowing that I wouldn't be able to switch the to do the widescreen or the horizontal shot, because there's like a spoiler on that page, or not a spoiler, but there's a scene that may... Does it still keep it portrait on my phone? I don't know that. Lighting, flip. No, it just says flip, so that would be flipping to that would be flipping it to look up, or to use the screen camera. There's mute, there's effects pickup, hide live video, retouch. Yeah. Nope. Definitely not. Oh well. Yeah, I got an Android. The orientation on the phone isn't locked, because if the app allows it, I can switch perspectives and I can watch stuff widescreen. And I can record widescreen, and I can flip most apps that way as well. So there's a few that don't, like I think Threads doesn't, Instagram doesn't. But it's I don't know, like it could be because there's a number of people I watch live on YouTube. So maybe it's because they have their PC set up, kind of thing. You're probably right. Yeah, no worries, man. I'm already started, and if if figure it out for next time, like that's fine. What you want, buddy? We already went outside. You had your food. Yeah, you ate most of your food. The last time the last page I inked, I added like all this background stuff that wasn't in there before, and I'm really happy I did because it just added, some more pickup and ambiance and stuff like that. What? What are you crying about? Where are you even? Oh, you're over there. You're okay, buddy. The crappy thing is I don't have any like royalty free music, so I can't play anything while I'm doing this. So Dustin, I know you saw the video for the toy show haul. Um, After I recorded the video, I actually read um, Ruben's Caligera. Um, it's actually a pretty interesting story. I'm hoping I can find the other parts. I don't know. At least according to the ad on the back, it looked um, like it had already um, like they were shipping or whatever. So yeah, the cover. I don't know that they had like a different cover or if that was a variant or whatnot. But it's also interesting to see the interiors. I don't know if you ever looked inside of it because you said you got the Lincoln Park book, but I don't think you said you got Caligera. I think you said you were thinking about it, but you picked up the Lincoln Park book first. So they had some not prelim sketches, but some initial designs from of the three main characters on the inside, and the they kind of varied quite a bit from what you see in the finished product of issue number one, which is kind of cool. Part of this feels like it was such a long time ago when I drew this, but like when I initially did the pencils, and then part of it is like remembering how long ago it was, and it was like not that long ago. It was a couple of months, maybe. See here. I think I saw on Tubi there's another quasi Steamboat Willie movie. I forget what it's called, but it looked like it was like a woman with a Steamboat Willie mask of some sort. I mean, Screamboat had an effort put into it, right? But it was still, oh, I'm sure they'll probably do something like that. I mean, anytime they can make a movie really, really cheap, and especially not have to pay royalties or rights or anything like that, like the the Neverland, what was it, Killing Neverland or whatever, Neverland Nightmare? That was an interesting movie. Like, I don't think it benefited that movie to be tied to um, the Pooniverse, right? Because like, here's the thing: um, Peter Pan, like friggin' predates like Steamboat Willie. Like that story is from like I think like the late 1800s, early 1900s or whatever. Like it's like the Disney version is just the Disney version. Um, but yeah, they could have done like their own thing with it, but tying it to the Pooniverse, like I don't know, it just seemed dumb to me to do that. But at the same time, it's just like how it also doesn't make sense that it's tied to the Pooniverse because there's literally the kid wearing the blood and honey t-shirt, right? So like how like does the story exist within that? Like it's kind of that, oh, we're trying to be meta and break the fourth wall, but at the same time, like there's not really a point to it. Like of all the Blood and Honey universe movies, that Neverland one was the best because it is like it had, yeah, it had the slasher genre to it, but it also had that like realism of, oh, these are like kids being abducted, and you could easily see some psycho thinking or really wanting it to be like, oh, I'm keeping you alive forever by killing you, you know. I mean, that's long been one of the thought processes of um, Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. Like all the Lost Boys, he had killed, or like they were all dead, and that's why they never aged. So, do you only agree with it, the realistic aspect, because they were druggies? Because like not everybody who does effed up shit like that is a drug addict. Dustin, don't show your bias. No, I thought um the kill scene at the end where the kid takes down Peter really felt reminiscent of Friday the 13th Part 4 final chapter, when Jason's hand flinches and Tommy Jarvis like reacts, and he just starts like hacking at him with the machete. It had some vibes like that, which I was just like, okay, No, your comment says I wasn't a fan of Neverland Nightmare, but I agree with the realistic aspects since they were druggies. So the Neverland Nightmare being separate from everything, all things considered, um, do you think it was just because they were druggies that made it realistic, or that only druggies would do something like kidnapping and murdering children kind of thing? I mean, because historically speaking, we know that's not correct. But no, that was me just making fun of you with that. But to speak on the giant piglet and owl and stuff like that, um, when I was a kid, I was oh, okay. When I was a kid and like horror movies used to like freak me out. So this was like before Child's Play and everything. Um, my mom, in her, effort to help me not be scared, um, you know, told me, she's like, well, like only one in every 100 murders actually happens that way. And so for a second, that like kind of calmed me down. Was I forget though, and I'm not going to go and rewatch it, but did Peter use, or did he just set Tink up to be like addicted to heroin? I would say watch me get demonetized, but you know, that ain't ever going to happen anyways. Yeah, like, dude, that house that they lived in, like, it feels so weird calling it like a crack house because, like, it was in what, London or, somewhere in the UK, like, but it was definitely like, more or less like what you would call a flop house. Um, the toy show was, I mean, it was all right. It wasn't like spectacular or anything. Like it was a little smaller than it is in like March. Um, but I don't know how many people initially signed up, but I know there was people who canceled their tables like a few weeks before the event, and I think it was quite a few people who canceled their tables because of the news that came out. But yeah, they had the door, like the back row was a lot. more pulled in um, than normal. I also forgot to check if like Wi-Fi was working. Um, oh, so one of the people who like worked with the toy show um, got busted um, for like CSAM and stuff like that. I mean, he was also like a youth leader at like a church, so he ran like youth groups and stuff like that. So like, not surprising somebody who works directly with children. I mean, not everybody, but finding out that somebody who's done this is somebody who, has immediate access to them and um they so like he got arrested and I believe when that was announced, um like that same day, maybe 2 hours before the news broke, um, the toy show announced that they had like a new like office business manager, and they named them and they were like, hey, if you have questions, please relay them to this individual. This is his email. Um, and But my friend Toby, who tabled, he's the guy I got the Cadillacs and Dinosaurs foil cover from. He sent me like the post from like Higgin 9 talking about the guy getting busted, right? And and then I went to the toy show page, and that's when I saw the announcement of like the new office manager or business contact or whatever. Um, and then so that was like about a month ago, maybe. But then for the toy show, like they never like they always have a wait list because people make a ton of money there, and it's a big event. And so then they made the post that they still had tables left. They didn't say how many, but it must have been a significant amount of people who um, like backed out. One of my friends was going to table, and he decided not to until March to kind of just be like, let it blow over a little bit. Um, and Richard, while we were there, Richard was just like, yeah, it's noticeably smaller. It didn't seem as packed. There were a couple of aisles that were, really difficult to get through because people were just jammed in there, but it wasn't like wall to wall like it normally was. Um, so, I mean, a couple of contributing factors. Like it could be just that they made the announcement, a few months ago. It's an atypical time. Um, so maybe that contributed to less people going. Um, Maybe it was, the weather it wasn't bad that day, but it was supposed to rain like all day. So that could have kept people home. Um, but Richard and I were there during like prime time of that event, right? It's just like we got there between like 9:30 and 10. Um, but like there were people that I know of who were demanding that the toy show, make a statement and, disavow this individual or whatever. And it was kind of weird because it's just like, okay, well, like, you can't hold the entirety of the toy show responsible for what one person, chose to do. And so they made their eventual statement, and it was, pretty corporate, pretty cookie cutter. Um, and they really, really distanced themselves from this individual. And they were like, it was somebody that we contracted. This person has never, if you're concerned about this person being an owner of the show, that's never been the case. Um, um, he was never like an official employee of the toy show, like, just your standard like corporate office distancing. And it was it was kind of interesting because you always see like this like damage control type scenarios. And all they had to say was like, this person worked with us. We definitely don't condone anything that they are accused of doing. Like, it's that kind of thing is never okay. Um, XYZ. But they didn't do that. They seemed to try to make it a point to point out that, this guy wasn't an employee. And like, he was the individual who I would send my payments to. I tabled at the show 3 different times: 2019, 2020, and 2022. And if I remember correctly, he was the one I sent my payment to. So, if this individual is not working in your front office and isn't, an employee, and you have them contracted or whatever, like, why the freaking hell are they taking payments? Like, why is their email the PayPal email to send payments? Um, Also, he was always there, the times that I went or tabled, working the front door, um, handing out the buttons of the bracelets or whatever they decided to use for, the like the badge for the show kind of thing. drawing Apple Pied Piper like this is actually kind of fun. Like doing their expressions and stuff with respect to like having the broken nose and like their mouth like having to be all like agape because of the broken nose, and then like the swelling around the eyes that you would get if you did have a broken nose, and with their lazy eye, and their fucked up bowl haircut. Plus, from this angle, the the collar almost looks like a bib, which is just funny to me. I like those hatches. Those are nice. And I have a couple people lined up for doing variant covers for chapter 2. I've hit up quite a few people already, actually. Um, it's like 5 total. Um, Essentially, what I think I'm gonna do is have the regular cover that I do, of course. Um, I'm kind of wanting to like do the pre-orders like I've done the last couple of times, but also maybe do like just a crowdfunding campaign, like just a regular one, like just kind of throw it up, do a little bit of promotion, don't do anything crazy, like not really worry about it too much, because like the pre-orders and the perfect getaway. I don't think so. Is that the one with does it have Nick Frost in it? Is it a newer movie? That sounds really familiar. Mm. I did just watch Monster Hunter, which had Mila Jovovich in it. I think I watched that on Saturday. Or as Kevin Smith calls him, Ola Fantastic. Yeah, Monster Hunter is different. It's not actually Resident Evil, but I'm sure you know that. I kept seeing it at Bookman's, and I kind of wanted to pick it up, but I've learned like don't buy a movie unless you A 100% can return it if you don't like it, and B like try like watch it first. Like, why would you buy a movie that you don't want or you've never seen if and then you run the risk of like not liking it? So I yeah, I think it was it on Max or was it on Hulu? It was one of the two. And and so I put it on and like there are parts of it that were good, but it's in a way it's really sad because like Mila Jovovich is a capable actor. She's not great by any stretch of the imagination. Like I don't think she's going to win any Oscars, but she's capable, right? Like she's played like a badass, character in Alice. Although how they keep bringing her back other than it, doing the weird cloning thing kind of thing is kind of annoying. I mean, she was badass um, in Fifth Element, stuff like that. But like, it seems like the only movies that she's ever really in nowadays, especially action wise, are movies that Paul W.S. Anderson directs, and I'm just like, dude, this really really sucks because like you're capable, and yet the movies where you get the lead roles are all movies your friggin' husband is directing. Like nepotism in Hollywood is yeah, I know. Like the first Resident Evil was I liked it. I know there was some people who didn't care for it. Um I've never really played the games, so like I don't have the same level of comparison. But um I also liked the second one. After that, it got, kind of ridiculous. And I was just like, okay. Especially when they did that weird thing. And I forget if it was in the third one or maybe it was the second one where like she dies in the helicopter crash and they like all of a sudden, like all the characters like show up to the lab to Umbrella Corp and where like the clone is waking up or her revived self or whatever she's supposed to be, and they just like walk in and they're all wearing like shades and they like doing a really tough matrix um you know copycat kind of thing. It's and the killer the part that was like really killer was like that there was the little kid. Wasn't there like a little kid in that movie too? I don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen it. I just remember like Ali Larder like showed up in like the third or fourth one, and then that's the one where they were like in the desert in Vegas, like on the strip. But I think that's also why like I can watch those and just be like kind of detach myself because like I never played the games, so I don't have the same tie to them kind of thing. But I was kind of bummed that Marvel has yet to do an Age of Apocalypse omnibus. They've done the Epic collections, but I would really like them to do the omnibus with everything all in one. Because like like Tales of the Age of Apocalypse or something like that came out today. And then last week, Marvel put out a like it's kind of a nice format. It has the first four issues of, or it has the number ones of like four um, of the Age of Apocalypse books. It's got like Factor X number one, Amazing X-Men number one, and Astonishing X-Men number one, and then like I think Weapon X number one. The nice thing about the Epic collections that they put out a few years back, several years ago, in fact, was that the the story was told in chronological order, so it wasn't like issue one, two, three, and four of Amazing X-Men. It was like Amazing X-Men number one, Amazing X-Men number two, um, Gambit and the Externals number one, Weapon X number one, Factor X number one. Like they told it in the chronological order, which I really really loved. And if they did an omnibus, they could just do it that way as well. So plus, like for the omnibus, like they don't, they print less of them, right? But you like put out the pre-order for it, and you're gonna, you have all those files. You're gonna make money. Like, I mean, they put out an omnibus of like Heroes Reborn. They put out an omnibus of like some Captain America stuff, like not even like his Golden Age stuff. They put out the first, is it Marvel Knights? What is the Punisher one that I have? Is Yeah, it's the Max omnibus of it's like the first 40 or 50 issues of the Max line. Actually, is it? Because I thought it had Welcome Back Frank in it. Let's see here. Three in the beginning. No. This is the Max run. Okay. Yeah, it's the Marvel Max run of the Punisher. So it has Born, where they basically redo his origin to be like, yeah, his family got killed in Central Park after they, wandered upon a mob hit, but that's not really where the Punisher first showed up. And then it's got the first 50 issues. The omnibus, yeah, but it's like it's weird. It's out of print. So they need to put it back into print. Because like the only way you're gonna get the Age of Apocalypse omnibus, unless they put it back out, like they did the Epic collections, and the Epic collections had everything in order. So Age of Apocalypse. Yeah, but like, dude, these. Oh wait, new printing. Well, that's a companion. The book jewel penguin. Hold on a second. Is it told in order though? That's the. My main issue is that it be told in order. Dude, somebody is selling this on Etsy, like the Epic collections. They're selling them on Etsy. Oh god, it's so infuriating. Dude, there's like old printings of it that are like um best price. Barnes and Noble. Oh, it's still like 45 bucks. Barnes and Noble? Fuck that. Apocalypse. What the hell is the companion? Like, I don't want the companion. I want the freaking. Oh, hey, look at that. They put it out on June 2nd, 2021. My 43rd birthday? Does this say if it's put in order? Like, I'm sure it is. I mean, even Marvel wouldn't be that stupid to not put it in order, right? Then again, it is Marvel. I just don't know that they have another one that was printed more recently than that. Um, but I mean, if it exists and it's like 125 bucks, like that's the going rate for like a brand new omnibus. So that's really not that bad, honestly. There were just some cats out there who had it for like son of a bitch. God, why is it like this? Um oh, that's why, because it's Kindle. Yeah, screw that. I'm not buying that on Kindle. I was just like, it's only $40. Yeah, because it's an ebook. Yeah, no, I saw that. Like looking it up. There's legit like Age of Apocalypse Omnibus. If you look it up, um, and it like the sponsored listings show like Thrift Books has one of the volumes of the Epic collection. Then Noble Knight Games has a volume. Then eBay has one used for 200, and then Abe Books, which is right next to that listing, $835. Like, yeah, no. But then you have these other ones for 125, Age of Apocalypse Omnibus and Companion, $430 on eBay. Like, I don't know, man. You're high. Like, I think this other one is, yeah. So then there's the ones that are like $300-$400. Those are the ones that are like out of print, right? But then somebody has, oh snap, there's two on Abe Books. So there's one on, where was it? Yeah, Abe Books. I guess it's kind of like, where everybody can sell them. And one is $835.42. And then if you scroll down a little bit, there's another one for $995. And it's the newer printing from 2021. It doesn't make sense. I don't care. Like, I would be fine with the newer printing. It's the same damn story. But that was the thing I liked about the volumes that I had picked up. I don't think they were doing epics yet, but it was like the complete collection or something like that. And yeah, they told it all in sequential order, to where they went and did Legion Quest, and Legion ends up killing Xavier instead of Magneto. And then, then you go into Age of Apocalypse. And I don't know, man. Like, Joe Mad is doing a variant for like X-Men issue 4, I think it is, coming out in a few months, and he's redoing that famous, I forget if it was Amazing or Astonishing, but the famous Rogue cover where she's standing like perfectly profile and she's got the fist popped up, except this time he's doing it like more 3/4 back, so she's got more dimension. And he was like, yeah, this is my way of like making the art better, because this is not how like I should have drawn this at the time, kind of thing. Oh wait, I clicked off of that. I'm still on that one. Yeah, I mean, you can sell your stuff for whatever you want, but I mean, if you don't want to sell it, you price it at a ridiculous price. So that way you can tell whoever, or you can tell yourself, be like, well, I tried to sell it, but nobody wanted to buy it, so I guess I got to keep it. Well, of course you got to keep it. Like, nobody's going to pay that much for it. And it doesn't, in my estimation, it doesn't make sense to keep things out of print. Like, yeah, let them go out of print for a little bit, but then put them back into print. Because something going out of print doesn't, like, the only thing it benefits in the long run for the company that owns the IP and can eventually put it back into print is when they put it back into print, they can make money. But at the same time, it's kind of like, it's one of the reasons why I straight up got like DVD rips of like the first 3 years or 4 years of AEW pay-per-views, because they didn't have a streaming service at the time, and they definitely didn't have the deal with Max, and they would put their events out on, on pre-order for sale and stuff like that, but then they'd only have them out for like a short period of time. And then if you wanted like CM Punk's first match back, you had to pay somebody's secondary market markup, right? And I'm like, that doesn't benefit AEW at all. Like, that benefits like, Joe Bob, who's, selling the the secondary market, DVD and Blu-rays and stuff like that. So it doesn't benefit the company because they'd only put it out for a short period of time, and then, they wouldn't offer it again and everything. And I told one of my friends about it, that I had picked up all the shows, and I was just like, you want to come over and watch? Because he wanted to see some of the stuff from AEW. And he was just like, no, man, on principle, I can't. And I was just like, what are you talking about? And he goes, those are rips, man. Those aren't like official releases. And I was just like, well, of course they're rips. Like, AEW is not making their shows widely available. So there's no way to watch these shows unless you pay some ridiculous secondary market markup. And at the same time, like, that doesn't benefit AEW as a company. And he was just like, yeah, but it's still not okay. And I'm like, whatever. If you don't want to watch them because of that, like, that's cool. That's whatever. Like, but I've talked to a ton of people who are like, yeah, no, that's fair doing that, because if they're not going to make it available to their customer base, like, keeping physical media alive is important. So that's why a couple weeks ago, Ned and I went to Zia, and they were having like a boutique studio sale. And it's funny because they say like up to 50% off on, movies from these, distribution companies like Arrow and KL and Synapse and Severin and stuff like that, right? Nothing was 50% off. Some of it was like, close to 40 or, 30 something percent. And I already have Ringu 2, Ringu 0, and Spiral on. I have Ringu on Blu-ray. The others I had on DVD. And I was looking for the RoboCop Blu-ray or 4K on air from Arrow, because it said it was in stock based on the website. But couldn't find it, and so the staff there were like, "Oh, check this bin because it's got like a bunch more. It's not just the display." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I found the Arrow Ringu box set, which has all the movies except Spiral, and then the Sadako movies that came out in like the 2010s. I don't know if Spiral is like, for some people, is like considered not canon or something like that, but it had Ringu 2, Ringu 0. So I picked that up, and I really appreciate how Arrow puts their box sets together. Like, their box sets are really hearty, right? Dude, even RF video, man. Like, RF video is technically still, I think they're technically still licensed to be able to release like all the ECW shows from back in the day. Um, but a few years back, they switched to like digital downloads. So like I remember, and I think I bought it directly from RF. I bought um, volume one of Hardcore TV, so it was like right when they were switching over to, um, not even right when they were switching over because they were still Eastern because the NWA tournament is still on that uh, volume, and it's like 75 episodes, but they're like, I think they're like a half an hour a piece or something like that because they're like, um, they're made for television, so they're like 30, 40 minutes or so. Um, and they have like all the recaps and they have like some full matches, but it's not like a ton of full matches. But at the same time, like, yeah, I went back because I was just like, you know what, I want to get ECW on TNN, and this was a couple of years ago, and I saw that they no longer had physical stuff, and I mean, I wouldn't mind buying. Um, I wouldn't mind buying the digital releases if I knew for certain that like I got to download the digital releases and it wasn't based on like an account that I had to have, right? Like Fandango, Voodoo, or whatever. So like I have an account, a streaming account with Rift Tracks, and one of the cool things is they offer like you can buy their movies and stuff that they've done, and you buy them like they do have physical copies of stuff, but it just depends on what it is and if it's in stock or not. And then they have digital releases of them, and it's pretty cool the way they do it. Like, so you buy the digital release, right? It gives you the link to download it, but then as long as you have the streaming service, and actually I think even if you cancel and like you're not paying for it anymore, you could still log into it on your like smart TV, and you can watch it on your account because it'll save to your library. But then you've also got it um, on your computer, or, you know, your hard drive or whatever. So you know, like if whatever happens, and let's say Rift Tracks goes away and they're not, you know, hosting services anymore or whatever, like you still have the movies that you bought as long as you downloaded them. I thought that was great. When I told some people about it, they were like, "Oh, that's really cool." Because like I've heard stories from people, not directly from people, but like so and so who knew somebody was just like, yeah, they had spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on like Amazon, like curating their Amazon library. And they, something happened and like Amazon like wiped their library. So the thousands, hundreds and thousands of dollars that they had spent on all the digital media gone. And it kind of reminds me, like I knew somebody back in the day. I knew a lot of people who played like Warcraft and EverQuest and stuff like that. And I knew a couple of people who had their characters hacked or their profiles hacked, and like people just walking away with a a character that they had spent hundreds, if not thousands, of hours building up and powering up, and like the character was gone. Everything that they had like done over those years, like all the grind and everything, was just all for naught. And I'm like, you know, I didn't know what to say to them about it because I'm like, well, I don't play games like that. So, I mean, I don't have anything to compare it to outside of when I was working on issue 3 of the Bubba Patrol, and I wasn't backing things up onto my laptop, which of course is my fault. I'm not blaming anybody else for it. But then when the hard drive fell on the ground and broke, and I lost all of issue 3, that was devastating, man. I had to start completely over on that. It sucked, but I turned a 32-page story into a 40-page story, and ultimately actually made it better, because I was like right on the verge of finishing inking that story, and I was literally inking the last page of it. So it was like page 31 or 32, because I had like kind of inked it out of order when the hard drive fell, and that page was like still up on my Clip Studio, so I was able to save it separately and was never able to recover those files. But yeah, ultimately, after like pretty much shutting down for a while, I was able to turn that into a positive and make the story even better. And it was after that Foley, was diagnosed with cancer, and we knew he didn't, he only had about a year after that, which is pretty good, actually. I got to give him his moment where he got his cape. That turned out to be exactly like it was in real life, which then led to Grayson and Foley being calendar boys in the 2021 Bookman's calendar, which was like really friggin' awesome. And then today I was at Space Monkey, and I only had one book on my pull list, or that was out today, and I was looking around, and there was a guy there with his kid, and they were talking, and the kid wanted something silly and goofy, and so Tony, the owner, and I were like recommending a couple of things, and they picked up, like a stack of books, and the dad was still standing there, and he was disappointed because there was no like Superman stuff in the shop other than the books. And I was just like, oh yeah, like I do a book I do a book called The Bubba Patrol, which is about my dogs as superheroes. So it's very personal, but it's also very just like there's a lot of silly and goofy moments and things like that. And so like Tony, Space Monkey carries it. So I pulled the first issue off the wall for them, and they picked that up as well. So and I was telling him a little bit about it, like, yeah, I did it, on newsprint. And the dad, who's a little bit older, I mean, not as, maybe not even as old as me, but like a little bit older, like, so like, growing up in the 80s or 90s when you knew what like newsprint comics were and stuff. And he was like, oh man, so like that smell. And I was like, exactly. The feel, the smell. And so he was excited. And I told him, I was just like, yeah, every single time I got the book, the new copy or the new issue in hand, like that was the first thing I did, was like pick it up and I would feel it. And then I would just like smell it, just because that smell is something else. And if you're not used to it, like if it wasn't like you didn't read books back then, But I know you're around my age, so I mean, if you were reading comics back then, you probably remember like that feel and that smell of that newsprint. I think this page is going to do it, or this panel is going to do it for me. My eyes are starting to want to close. It is closing in on 8, so I've been doing this for about an hour and a half, which ain't too bad. Made a lot of progress on this too, so I'm really excited with chapter 2. I think people who read the first issue and were like, okay, I want to see what's next, are really, really going to enjoy it, because that slow burn from issue 1, totally going to be worth it with issue 2 or chapter 2. I'm going to turn on my stove, preheat. Do a smidge more inking. Oh yeah, man, no worries. Like, speaking of money, yeah, my I forget if I mentioned it at the beginning of the stream, but my friggin' fridge is on its last legs, so I had to buy a new fridge, which is gonna come tomorrow. Which I knew I was gonna have to do, but it's just like one of those like annoying grown-up things where you're like, oh, I actually have to pay for this shit. Like, so but I have like one of my mom's friends is getting ready to move cross country, so this weekend she's asking for my help to like move all the like big items uh, into one of the pods. So I mean, it won't be as bad as like moving, because I hate moving. I hate helping people move. Um, but yeah, it'll give me some money back towards the cost of the fridge, which is like over $700 with shipping, or not shipping, with delivery, and then removing the other the old fridge. So I do, yeah, I still have that. All my commissions lately have been sketch cards, which have also like it's also been fun to do. I'm actually gonna release a lot of those because I time lapsed most of them. The Nun one I put out last week, and then one I did for somebody, and it's set to come out on Friday. Um, if they're commissions for people, or they're like, yeah, if they're commissions, I don't like to post the video beforehand. So if you're cool with it, I'll do like a time lapse of the Akuma sketch when I do it, and then once you have it, then I'll wait and I'll put it out. Because then that way, like it's kind of cool. Like I've done that with people who've like bought some of the sketch covers and stuff that I've had the time lapses for, and I'm like, here, go to my YouTube, and you can watch me actually do the time lapse for this. And I don't know if people have like actually come back and watched it or not, but gives them the option to at least, which I think is kind of cool. I know somebody who bought the I did a Baroness cover a while back, and somebody on eBay bought it, and when I um, when I shipped out the book to them, I was like, I messaged them and I was like, hey, if you're interested in seeing like the video of me creating this, like, um, here's the link to my YouTube page or to that video specifically so you can watch it. And he was just like, oh, that's sweet. I think it's just kind of like a cool extra for people to have, and then they can be like, hey, you see this cover? Like, you want to see the person like make it and put it together? I like doing the time lapses a little bit more than I like doing like the live videos, because the live videos are just um like the files get to be a lot after a while. Cool. I'll plan on doing that then. Yeah. Whenever somebody reads the my books, I always like ask them who their favorite character is. Um, and it's been interesting to hear like people's responses to Welcome to Pleasant Falls, because like some people really like Perry, even though she's just like a complete asshole. Um, because she is a complete asshole, like that's why they like her, because she's kind of like she exemplifies what people would do, if they had the guts to just, be dicks. And then one of my friends said both Weta and Apple Pied Piper are her favorites, and I'm like, but I can see it with Apple Pied Piper, because Apple Pied Piper is just like this weird character. I mean, not super complex, but like, I mean, fucking look at how they dress. Like, how can you not just be like a little curious about that? Like, what the hell is going on in this person's head? All right. I think that is it. Let me put a couple of dings and dents. All right. That's going to do it for this live edition. I may add some stuff up here too, but we'll see. I think being able to do a couple of panels where you have a decent background effect in it, you're able to like leave some of it open and not have to add background to everything. Um, Especially because, like there's your focus. But I think this is maybe the van is going back that way because of what they just did. I don't remember. I'll have to look at the previous page and see how like they were positioned, because I think that's on the previous page. We'll see. I'll message you that, Dustin, but I think that's right because it's 50 for the sketch, but 10 for the cost of the cover, 20 for the 20 for the print, and then you have the 3 covers. And like I said, because we're past those events, they're $10 a piece. So 60, 80, yeah, 110. All right. All right. That's it. All right. Putting that down. All right. See you guys later.